in a better place. When we're all in a better place. If the wind blows free from the treetops to the ocean, why can't we be in a better place? There are pieces of the world in you. There are pieces that are in me too. There are shards in the sun, and it rains on everyone, and everything's undone and broken, until we're all in a better place. Yeah, we're all in a better place. When the water flows straight down to the ocean, why are the lines so hard to trace? I'm not asking you not to be you. I don't want you to change your life, but I just want to be together, you and me, from sea to shining sea, the way it used to be. Remember, we were all in a better place. Yeah, we were all in a better place. Yeah, the river runs wild, nothing is for certain. Why let this moment go to waste? Are you ready for that grand embrace? Right here in a better place. Yes, yeah. Oh,
All right. Hey, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you may be in this amazing, beautiful, transformative planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Meetup with Marc, here live on the Intuitive Prospector Facebook page and also streaming over on my YouTube channel, Soul Adventures. How are you this morning? Got a couple things we're going to talk about. I do apologize. Uh, we were running late because Zoom that I broadcast through decided that it needed to do a complete update. And when I went to go live, I wasn't able to go live. So I do apologize for my tardiness. But I hope you're doing well today. Happy Friday to you. We try to be here on Fridays, given technical difficulties or updates, and our lives are dependent on technology, and will become even more so with AI and robotics and we're usually here at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I know we have people that follow the journey from all around the globe. So again, thank you for tuning in. I'm here in Seattle, Washington. This is my healing and transformative studio of the Intuitive Prospector. I am your host, Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, always helping people to find the diamond within and the many gems and mysteries and mysticisms and unknowns of our world that are all around us. So every Friday I try to come on. This is a community where we have encouragement, motivations. These are things that we really strive for each Friday. And something that within the last year, I really started to change to, you may agree with this or not agree with this, but social media has really just become a shit show. And so I really try to use social media platforms for positivity, for healing, for information, for education, for thinking outside the box, whether it's here on Facebook Live or, like I said, my YouTube channel. You can find me over on TikTok and Instagram and Wisdom. And you can always go to my site to get any of those right here at marklainhart.com and join me on the journey to prospect for your own diamond within and have the courage to bring that out, but also to discover all the things that are all around us, because there's just so many things that are just unknown that we think as humans, we think that we know, but we really don't. We were talking about this. I was talking with a colleague, and even when I was studying over in England last year, we were talking about how the scientific method in mathematics and formulas has only proven about 4% of the known. I mean, take away theories and take away hypotheticals, take away hypotheses. But as far as fact, based on scientific method of what we know and is supported by mathematical formulas, that's a whole different language. I would not even know how to start with that. That remains that there's 96% of the stuff we don't know yet. And I think that we're moving through a period of our roaring 20s that if you followed my journey, I started talking about this in 2019, that the roaring 20s were going to be a decade of transformation. It was going to bring a renaissance about, and it was going to be a decade of awakening for many people, including what we're doing with our technology. The technology is transforming, and it's creating positivity, which I try to use on my platforms, but it's also creating negativity, right? Because we get so much information, and somebody says, you're entitled to your opinion, of course, but you're not entitled to your fact, right? Because there's only one set of facts. Whether, and somebody's probably watching this going, no, Mark, there's my set of facts. Well, that's great, but there's only one set of facts, right? And social media has created that concept. And so as a species, we're really working through our technology challenges, as far as just think about where technology has gone just in the last 3 years and where it's going with the artificial intelligence. Now starting to see it, like here on it, for example, right down here in the bottom, there's an AI companion as part of Zoom where you can do dictation. So, people that used to do dictation, that job is going to go away. There's a lot of jobs that you're going to start to see go away. And it's quite fascinating to see how we're changing as a species, as we're changing as a society, as a culture. There is a lot of cultural conditioning that does take place. There's a lot of fear that takes place. And so today I was going to talk about, as I was preparing for the show this morning, I usually get up early and get the YouTube channel ready to go. And I don't know. Well, I do know. I take that back. When you start to align with who you truly are, what keeps you going? What makes you get out of bed every day to do this thing we call life, which is learn it from experience. That's the acronym that I use for life, to learn it from experience. And one of the things, especially with the journey that I've been going through with just personal, career, health challenges, unplugging from the matrix, if you will. And one of the things that kind of came up in my meditation, because I like to sit in the silence and I like to sit and listen to that higher voice. And I know that's not for everybody, but it's a quote from Marcus Aurelius. And this is something that I was really, when I get into my pain body, my physical body, just feeling my entire body, my frustrations, the truth within, this comes up when I'm having fear, when I'm having doubt, when I'm having frustration, when I'm having judgment, or comparison is crippling me, or even what's currently going on in my journey as I move to make a career change, right? As I move to get some hardware put in my back, which I've never had to do before, kind of Terminator stuff, right? They're going to do some robotic procedures on my low spine to help me, get out of this pain body that I've been in. The surgeon said I probably should have had this surgery done 5 years ago. So living with that pain, but the mental health of dealing with pain, right? And when I was sitting here, well, actually, I was sitting there because that's where I meditate. Marcus Aurelius quotes came up, and it states this. He was really big about contemplating what your own death is. And the quote is, we are all living in cages with the door wide open. We are all living in cages with the door wide open. So you think about that, and it's an oxymoron. Is it really a cage? It's a cage of our mind. It's a cage of our learned behaviors. It's a cage of what we watch on our smartphones or our television or programming, right? And we are all living in cages with the door wide open. And if you start to practice every day contemplating what your own death looks like, you really start to ask the question, what keeps you going? So for today's show, like I said, we show up for community, we show up for encouragement, motivation, thinking outside the box, metaphysics, mediumship, psychic, spiritual, intuition. We like to be a smorgasbord or a buffet of, and when I say I'm talking about me, and also just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not here. Something that I've become very aware of over my journey the last 20 years with the traumas and tragedies that blew my life up and put me on a different pathway. And really kind of, this last 10 months, kind of unlearning everything that I've learned and unbecoming what I thought I was to become, right? But it's really, contemplating what does your death look like and what keeps you going, because death is not the end. Some may think that, but in our philosophies of that smorgasbord of that buffet that you go up to, some people believe death is the end and that you go into the ground and that you're just worm food, or everything decomposes, right? Everything breaks down if you go and get buried, or you can be cremated, right? You go back to ashes. But what about the energy that's inside our hearts? What about all of our memories that hundreds and millions of memories we've had, depending on your age? What about our compassion as a species? What about our love? What about our auric field? What about our consciousness? You would think that that would go on. I would hope it would go on. Otherwise, what's the point of all of this, right? And so we are all living in cages with the door wide open, which is a quote from the great Marcus Aurelius. So if you've not read his book about meditations, just ask yourself the question, start beginning the practice of contemplating your own death, and you'll start to really look at the world differently. Maybe the things that you're scared of, or things that you doubted, things that I've been going through that I've never had to go through before. I'm going through some new things that I've never, with the sake of privacy, just I haven't had to experience that type of intimidation, or that type of bullying, or that type of negative, unkind behavior. And like I told my tribe, my spiritual development group, SDG, some of the things that we can do that shows transformation and wisdom and evolution, excuse me, is to be able to smile in the face of chaos, to be able to smile just like a very peaceful yak up in the Himalayan mountains, right? Be able to smile back at people that want to tear you down. Smile back at people that want to try to discredit you or bring you down, because there's a lot of that in our world. Really, sometimes I wonder, based on that 1% that separates us from the animal kingdom of the apes and the human species, sometimes I don't feel like there's much of a difference with a few of these people that are in our consciousness. But if you start to contemplate your own death and realize that the journey of life is what you have today, not what the future holds, and not what the past can try to bring back, because you can't do the changes of either of those, right? So today's topic is, we are all living in cages with the door wide open. What keeps you going in this journey? And I was talking with one of my colleagues, and we were just talking before the show, and we were talking about what during the Holocaust, right? We always talk about the Holocaust in World War II, horrible time period, killed over 50 million people throughout the war, over 6 million Jewish people, Polish people in the Holocaust, right? But what kept them going? What was the drive? Even the world was collapsing around. Like for me, I'm like, I got some shitty stuff going on, right? But as Buddha reminds you, got to let that shit go. But am I in a concentration camp? No. Even if we go farther back to the indigenous cultures, the Native Americans here in the United States, and the mass atrocities that took place, the re-education, the killing, estimated to be over 120 million people, women, children, men, over the course of years, right? And it's like, my life is not that bad. But if I start to contemplate my own death and I get into the present moment, then I stop worrying about the future, and I stop worrying about the past. As a professional psychic, people come to me all the time. They'll call me, they'll email me, they'll ask me, well, what do you see on me? Especially when they find out what I do. What do you see about me? What's my future? What does my future hold? And I always come back, one of my favorite quotes from Abraham Lincoln was, in fact, it's right up here, right next to my Neo in the Matrix. Neo's I've got a figurine that has Neo bending back, avoiding the bullets, because that's what life throws at you. Life throws bullets at you. And sometimes you just have to be flexible and not break, like Neil bending backwards. I can't bend all the way backwards because my back's pretty screwed up. But one of the best things about the future is that it comes one day at a time. And that's right now. That's this present moment. So if you're catching the video today, or maybe you're catching this video 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, who knows if YouTube will even be around in that time frame, right? It might be a whole new construct, just like the internet came in, and then the social media came in, and then YouTube came in, and everything changes, right? That's the only thing consistent in life. So, if I can leave this record behind for people to enjoy this journey, this message is go back to Marcus Aurelius and start to practice contemplating your own death. Do something that scares you every single day. Eleanor Roosevelt talked about that. And just remember, we are all living in cages. We are all living in cages with the door wide open. But what keeps you going? What is that that journey of what does the day bring, right? That carpe diem moment, right? There are some days that I just don't want to get out of bed, especially with everything that's been going on these last 10 months, right? Just people's behaviors and how people treat other people and my health and my back. And it's just like, what keeps me going? Just like what kept the Native Americans going, what kept the Jewish and Polish people going during times of atrocities and sadness and murder and just no law, right? Is what is that drive? What is that internal drive? And some people, unfortunately, don't have that. And they end their own lives, right? They commit suicide, or they just pain away through different modalities, whether that's drugs or sex or alcohol or their jobs, right? And it's like, what keeps you going? So today on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc, we're going to do a meditation. I've got some music queued up for us, and we're going to just journey into what keeps you going. And I can tell you, when you open up and we were talking about the Matrix, right? And when Neo first he's intimidated in the physical world, right? He goes into a room with two agents and suits and ties, and they're questioning him, and he's trying to do the right thing, right? I can relate to something similar, and be like, well, I'm just trying to do the right thing. And sometimes the right thing isn't good enough for somebody, right? You become the villain in somebody else's story. And that's just going to happen with human, culture and human behavior. And it's about, how do you keep going, right? And so like Neo then finds his journey, he finds his tribe, and he takes the little blue pill, I think, right? Red pill, you stay here. Red pill, you stay here. Blue pill, you awaken, right? You go to what the real world is. And when you wake up of that awakening, which for me happened years ago, but it's been a constant transformation and healing along the way of, caterpillar to butterfly effect. And that's including right now, the actual being flushed out of something that I've known for a long time into something that's more new. And so when you think of Neo emerging from the Matrix, remember he had that big tube down his throat and he was covered in that goo. If you haven't seen the Matrix, I highly recommend it. It's a very mind-blowing concept of a movie. But he's covered in just nasty shit right now, right? He's just covered. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? Excuse my French, but it's just like, that's just me being authentic. Like, what is going on? And he pulls that tube out. And then all of a sudden he's looking around like, hey, this is welcome to the Matrix, right? And all of a sudden then the tubes just automatically start breaking off. And this machine comes and grabs him and disconnects him from the back, right? And he gets flushed out, right? Some of you may be feeling that way today, with the uncertainty of our world. Like I said, the roaring 20s were going to be quite transformative, including war, including major conflicts, revolutions, civil wars, governments, failures of institutions. I said this was happening. A renaissance after the global pandemic always follows in history. Just go back and look at history. History teaches us what our future is going to look like. It's not, you don't even have to be psychic to know that, right? But as a student of history, I can see that we're going to some very paramount transformative times in our planet. And I've even coined it the great coming together, right? I've talked about, disclosure and learning that we're not alone in the universe and that there's other things going on, whether it's deep down in our oceans, deep down in our earth, or out here in the big universe that we just don't understand. We think we do, but we really don't, right? And so what keeps you going, right? Because some people decide to end this journey, this physical incarnate flesh suit. I like to say that, how do we know that we're not AI? How do we know that we haven't evolved and that we are some sort of computer program that has become self-aware? We don't know that, right? How do we know that we're just not robots too? Like, we go to sleep every night, right? So we have to recharge this flesh suit, right? And so it becomes these very mind-blowing things. And you have to then go, well, what's going on? Why am I here? What's my purpose? What's my passions? What are my plans? And so some of the things that happen to us in the physical life enables us to awaken to this new, whether it's spiritual or your gifts or going in a completely different direction, whatever that may be. And hopefully I can help you do that today. We're going to do, like I said, we're going to do a meditation because we're all living in cages with the door wide open. We choose to stay in that safety. We choose. And as Marcus Aurelius had talked about, if you're not sure who Marcus Aurelius is, look him up in history. We've got the internet. We have all the information that's out there in the internet, right? Social media. We can download all sorts of information, and it's only going to continue with quantum computing that is now a concept. It is a reality. IBM has the first quantum computer, and they're working with the Cleveland Clinic to grasp knowledge and information. The question becomes, as a species, can we handle it? Can we handle, the changes, which is consistent in life, but can we handle the paradigm shifts that comes from our learned behaviors, our religious, and upbringing, our beliefs? I mean, if you think about it right now, there are almost 5,000 gods being worshipped by humanity right now. Now, somebody would say, well, there's only one God. I'm not defending that. I'm not debating that. I'm just saying, as of now, based on information that we can glean from, Wikipedia or the internet or do our own research, there's over 5,000 different gods that humanity is worshiping. But don't worry, only yours is right, right? So we all have different perspectives, but at the end of the day, the one thing that brings us together is our humanity as human beings, our blood, our hearts, how we treat one another. And I see that in this year of the 8. We're in the year of the 8 from a numerology perspective. I see manifestation of things that have been building for some time, things that need to be broken down, things that need to be challenged, the status quo, things that need to change because things weren't working before the pandemic. And people said, oh, we'll go back to normal. And I said, no, because the normal wasn't working for many people. That's why we're seeing these breakdowns in society, these unknowns. Shoot, you've got people talking about nuclear war and having that, that rhetoric and that fear mongering and that scare tactics. And when you realize, if you contemplate your own death and realize it's all you have in the moment, that stuff kind of falls away and you just take that deep breath. And when you move into that awareness, when you move into not being scared of something or, the tactics to intimidate, which I have been going through for months now, it's just like, you know what? Fear, false evidence appearing real, face everything and rise. And that's what you have to do. And you got to be like, one day I am going to die. One day I'm going to leave this. And hopefully, I did an okay job to go to the next step, whatever that next step is, but there is a next step. But when you move into that carpe diem, when you move into that diamond within, because diamonds are created under extreme pressures, and maybe some of you are feeling that right now, and you release that concept out, all of a sudden abundance takes place, and that's what the year of the 8 is. The year of the year of the 8. Now it's funny because the year of the 8, back in the last time we were in this year, because I'm in Life Path 8 numerology, the study of numbers, the cousin to music, right, by Pythagorean. I had back issues. I had broken off a piece of my vertebrae in 2015, and I had to go into rehab for 9 months. And I'm thinking, this is great. Well, what are the chances that we're in another year of the 8 and I have to have major spinal surgery? I mean, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm also looking forward to having no pain, which I probably should have had this surgery probably 5 years ago from what the surgeon told me, but not having that pain body, right? And finally moving into releasing the pain body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the pain that we create on ourselves to be like, you know what, for the next however many years, weeks, months that I have left on the planet, really seize the day, really carpe diem and move into abundance, because we're aligning with the energy of the 8, which is abundance. It's manifestation. It's a business-minded leader, being a spiritual entrepreneur. And one of the things I can tell you, when you align to that and you open up to that, pretty cool things happen. So for example, only less than a month ago, and I don't know what changed to this, to be honest with you, I don't know what changed. But I was asking a few of you, and I'll give a shout out here because today is the first Friday of the month. So if you're a Diamond Hub subscriber, a Patreon prospector, you'll get a Zoom link on those pages, both over on Patreon page. You can get that link here at marklainhart.com, or in the subscribers hub, you'll get the Zoom access here at 11:30, which I have to pay attention to because I started late, for free readings, for free guidance, for free, as part of your subscription to the Diamonds Hub and the Patreon. You'll be able to come into the Zoom room. They won't be published out for here, but we can have conversations. It can include psychic, intuition, spiritual, prayer, mediumship, sitting in silence, whatever you need. And it's only for qualifying members. It's something that I do the first Friday of every month, to get enough energy up, because I'll be honest with you, everything I've been going through and the pain, my energy was pretty low this week. But I rally on Fridays because I want to be here for you, and I want to help. I want to be in service, and I want to inspire and help you in whatever way that I can, because I pretty much have done everything this journey of life has to offer. There's a few things I haven't done yet. Still, I haven't jumped out of an airplane yet. Need to lose some weight, which the surgery is going to be good because I have to drop a bunch of weight before the surgery. So that's a good thing. So maybe one day I will jump out of a plane. That's one thing I haven't done, but anything else, I've pretty much experienced a lot of soul adventures. So I have a lot of, knowledge and information and education that I can share or relate or help you see a different perspective, right? But with opening to who you truly are, your authentic self, and doing the work to heal, to transform, to let go, abundance kicks in. And so over a month ago, I had asked some of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I had less than 500 people. Okay, less than 500 people. You can go get the link here at marklainhart.com or just look for my name. And I said, hey, I'd love it if a few of you would subscribe. I was at like 495. I was just trying to hit the 500 mark, because when you're a content creator and the work that I do as a writer, as a podcast show host, when you get a certain following, then it opens up more tools and you can do more things to help people. So for example, the Intuitive Prospector page has something about 41,000 prospectors, people that follow. And when I went over 20,000, it allowed me to create stars, and you can be a star sender and create, different tools to help you. And I said, hey, go over to my YouTube channel, subscribe, help me hit that 500 mark. And I'm not kidding. When you align to who you truly are, when you let go, when you authentically move, you create abundance for what's in the matrix, but also what's outside the matrix. And my page within 1 month, I'm not kidding y'all, has gone over 7,000 people, subscribers. And I just keep checking it back every day. I'm like, what has changed? I've had my YouTube channel for 8 years, right? And the same is going with my podcast. I've been on the air for Inspired Living for 8 seasons, and I've talked to amazing people on different topics, different concepts, going to different things to observe how the world works, to observe different things, to experience and be a part of the different perspectives of life, right? And all of a sudden, the podcast is now nationally ranked as a top inspirational podcast, and it's streaming wherever you get your podcast from, right? So that was kind of cool. But then I'm like, what happened with my YouTube channel? Literally going from less than 500 to more than 7,000 subscribers. And again, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the follow and the journey to join me as an intuitive prospector yourself, to find the diamond within and to find the diamonds that are all around us. But that, to me, and that's what I was talking with before my shows. Every few weeks I have my spiritual counselor that helps me get through and give me different perspectives and paradigms. I would even say he's my counselor because I pay him, but he's also he's a good spiritual brother, and he's a mentor. He's been through it too, and he helps me to see. And he has a background in psychology, so he can be my shrink when he needs to be, and he can be my spiritual guru and give me perspective when I need him to be. And somebody that I've been working with for a few years now. And I said, what changed? And he said, it's your ability to align to who you truly are, to move into abundance. The universe works with you, not against you. And one of the mantras that I want to give to you today, something that I've been saying myself, is the stuff that I've been going through, the changes, the transformations, the ugliness, the unkindness, the bullying, even at sometimes evil kind of stuff. It's like, it's not happening to me. It is happening for me, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And if I'm doing something that I fear every single day when I wake up, that becomes, the stuff that's happening becomes trivial. It becomes like, if you want to try to impact, go after, people or careers or what, that's fine. That's your karma. That's your energy. That's not mine. That's not me to own. That's just helping me to realize who I am and to move into that abundance and to be that authentic person to help people. And that's what my whole journey has been. Now you're going to be misunderstood, right? It's I keep it on my desktop here. I have to let me minimize my desktop here, and then I'll give you some shout outs. But it goes back to what Plato said, and we're talking a long time ago. Those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. Let me say that again. Those who are able to see, remember, you have three eyes in life, two to look, one to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. And I've witnessed that. I've experienced that firsthand, and it's not fun. But sometimes all you can do is just smile in the face of chaos, smile in the face of a bully, stand up to a bully, but also just smile and just be calm, cool, and collect. Don't try to create by raising your voice doesn't make it better. In fact, drill down and change your argument, right? Change, your perspective. And I see, and I grew up in environments of yelling and trying to scream over people. And, it's like, don't raise your voice, just improve your argument. That's very, very important for your journey of transformation. But at the end of the day, the best is yet to come. So be patient with everything that's going on. And again, maybe, in different ways, your channel will go from less than 500 people to 7,000, in less than a month. But that's the universe working with you, not against you. That's you aligning and becoming who you are truly meant to be. And again, all the stuff that happens for you, not to you, because when it happens for you, it strengthens you. It makes you better. And it gives you, going back to what I said, what keeps you going. This keeps me going, helping people, even if misunderstood, even if, judgmental. It's helping people. It's being in service to bring positive energy and vibration into our world, which needs it so much. And that's what I tell my tribe every Wednesday, who have been there for me, as I get ready for this surgery and what I've been going through. And so lean on people. Find your own tribe. If it's not my tribe, find your own tribe. Find a mentor. Find people. Don't try to do this journey alone. And maybe you don't know what your purpose to keep you going is. And if that's the case, I hope that you seek guidance. I hope that you reach out for help. I know that mental health is a big thing now, and I've had to myself. I don't know if I have the card here still. I don't think I do. Yes, I do. I keep it right here for mental health. The Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's about, it's 1-800-237-TALK. I think you can now do 811. There's an actual code that you can do, I think. Somebody can put that in the chat, or, but seek help, talk to people. Some of the suicide warnings, if you're not sure what's keeping you here with everything that's going on, and there's a lot going on, and there's more to come, just so buckle up, roaring 20s, but stay the course. This too shall pass. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Be patient. The best things are about to come. Your future self will thank you, I promise. And some of the signs, talking about wanting to die or to kill oneself, looking for a way to kill oneself, such as searching online or buying a gun, talking about feeling hopelessness or having no reason to live, talking about feeling trapped or in unbearable pain, talking about being a burden to others, increasing the use of alcohol or drugs, acting anxious or agitated, behaving recklessly, sleeping too little or sleeping too much, withdrawing or feeling isolated. And that's what's broadcasting over on my YouTube channel right now, is my latest article and last week's show, where I talked about the diamonds of being alone. Being alone is not necessarily a bad thing, and being in isolation is not a bad thing. But showing rage or talking about seeking revenge. Don't seek revenge. Just delete people out of your life that don't bring you peace, and align with like-minded people, like-minded, open-minded people. Right? It's just, isn't it funny that closed-minded people always have their mouths open? They always have something to say. They always have something to judge. They have something to throw at you, right? It's that finger pointing out, but there's really three fingers pointing back, and just displaying extreme mood swings. So again, this is an older card, but it is, the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If you're not sure what's keeping you here, because that's a question that I ask, and it's something that I always go back to, the Native American cultures that were wiped out at when America was first being founded. I can't even imagine the atrocities and the re-education that we're learning about slowly now from our history, because our history is not accurate. And what the Jews and the Polish people and everybody that were in those concentration camps. I'm watching a great series over on Apple TV, The Masters of Air, the pilots, what they went through when they were bombing, in World War II. It's just, if you ever watch Band of Brothers, it's the same, Spielberg and Tom Hanks are the executive producers, but they're not the band of brothers on the ground. It's the band of brothers up in the air, the pilots, and what they, if their plane got shot down, and a lot of them did, they'd have to parachute into enemy territories and try to survive and be captured and be put in camps themselves. A very turning point of our history, which also brought, one of my decks here is the atomic bomb, right? That led to the nuclear bomb. Which changed the course of history. And I believe that's where we're at again in our roaring 20s. We're at a tipping point for the planet Earth, for our discovery of technology and science and communications and travel and the universe and little green men. And, and it can be overwhelming to be like, where is my place in all this? And if you're not sure, stop, take a breath, practice the pause, move into the present moment. You're here for a reason. You're also here for a season. But if you don't know and you're having those thoughts, and as I read through these, it was a reminder, because there's some of the stuff that I'm, my ability to sleep with the pain that I've been in my pain body for many years. Like I said, the surgeon said I probably should have had this surgery 5 years ago. But when you're talking about being trapped in unbearable pain, or sleeping too little or too much, I don't sleep a lot these days, right? So that weighs on me. That doesn't make me suicidal. But it does make me, okay, how can I keep going? What keeps me going? Because I am really, in a sense, like, we were talking about earlier, as our own cages, the cages of our mind. And, we're all living in cages with the doors wide open. What can you do to make a change today to go in a different direction? Talking to somebody, getting a counselor, going on a trip, going on a hike, getting out into nature, taking just a breath where you're at, right? Abundance you never knew before will start to come into your life. Abundance you've never known before. Once you align to that, you surrender to it, you let the shit go, a lot of cool things can happen for you. So that's today's message. We are all living in cages with the door wide open, and I want you to contemplate your own death, what your own death looks like. And that's not something easy for everybody, right? Some people are scared of death, and I get that. But like we do on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc, we offer perspectives. We're a buffet. We're a smorgasbord. You pick and choose what you want. You may agree with me. You may disagree with me. But we can still, at the end of the day, it takes nothing to be kind to people. To be like, we can have a conversation. We can have a debate. Bring us back from divide, because we're going to see more divide in the weeks, months, and years ahead in our cultures, in our society, especially here in America. But we also have the opportunity to make a change. Make a change. No. Make a choice. I'm thinking of the 3 C's. Make a choice, take a chance, see the change. Take a leap of faith. You don't risk it, there's no biscuit. Sometimes you got to do stuff that goes against your grain and things that you've learned. And again, I wouldn't be telling you this if I haven't gone through it myself. So be in the present moment. That's where your true power resides. So let me get back over to the Intuitive Prospector page again at 11:30. So in about a half hour here. If you're a Diamonds Hub subscriber, if you're a Patreon prospector, again, you can get to both of those links right here. I will put the link in. Let me copy the link. If you want to become a Diamonds Hub subscriber here on Facebook, I will put that over on the Intuitive Prospector page. It's $4.99 a month. We are growing. We've already had a couple new prospectors come into the hub. So welcome to my newest members, and happy prospecting. It's a great way to, every month, the first Friday of every month is connect with me and just at your Q&A, right? It can be a Q&A. It could be, I want to talk to my grandma that's in the spirit world. I can't guarantee, I'm happy to, open that up and align to that. But I can never guarantee who's going to come through at what time and when, because I work for them. They do not work for me. So let's go over to the Intuitive Prospector page. I'll put that link on the page. I'll give you some shout outs. I will give you messages. I'm not going to open up the Zoom room for today's show because we're doing because it's the first Friday of the month, and happy March 1st. Can you guys believe it's already March? I don't know where the time is going. But it's the Q&A community for my Patreon subscribers and my Diamonds Hub subscribers. So if you want to come into the Q&A community, that'll be at 11:30. That link will be over in the hub and over on Patreon. And then I'll be back on the air, not back on the air, I'll be back in a Zoom room at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So check your time zone wherever you're at for my subscribers. And if you can't make the morning session, then the first Friday every month, I open it up for an afternoon session at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I open up the room. If you're here, great. If you're not, I usually stay. If nobody comes on board, we had that last month. We only had one person come in and then nothing. That's fine. I just create the space and you come in based on free will and choice. All right. So let's get over the Intuitive Prospector page. I was going to show you guys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but this is the slickest thing. I don't know what it's called, but it's called a shiatsu massager. But man, this thing does, because I've been massaging my back, and you put it and then you pull, and so it's been really helpful as I prepare for surgery. So kind of a cool little thing. And then sitting for a long period of time, I can only sit for short periods of time, and then I have to stand. So good thing I have a stand-up workstation. Okay, so yeah, Q&A community for Patreon prospectors and Diamond Sub subscriber at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Zoom. That link will be on both platforms. The only way you can get to them is to be a subscriber. So I'll put that link, and it's also on my page. You can go to patreon.com/Marc Lainhart, marclainhart.com, and then I'll put the subscribers hub link in here as well. My Patreon, I have different levels of membership depending on what you want to do and what you can afford, from $2.22 to $11.11, right? So it's really just based on you. Okay, so that link for the supporters, if you want to be on the hub, is there. And let's get into your let's see who's on with me this morning. A couple of you hanging out. Thanks so much for hanging out. And again, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Again, what keeps you going? And we are all living in cages with the door wide open. What do you want to do today? What do you want to do tomorrow? What do you want to journey? What do you want to, what scares you? Go do something that scares you every single day. All right, to the Prospector page. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. And again, join my YouTube channel. It's over 7,000 people. It's crazy, but I do appreciate it. So thank you so much. Good morning to my team. I always want to throw them the first bone to say thank you to my moderators. They moderate the comments. Remember, if you're here in this community or on this page, we don't reach out to you to do readings. You come here. It's more one way. If you ask me a question, then I can interact with you, but we do not go to your page. So if you don't see that blue check mark or my name, my picture with a blue check mark, then it's not from me. I've been validated on my social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, all that. So, but during the show too, we have people that'll come in and be like, hey, beautiful, I see you need some healing. Come over to my page. If you see that shit, hit those 3 little dots up in the right-hand corner and report it as spam. It's no different than somebody calling your personal cell phone. Mine comes up as spam. I get a lot of spam calls. Being out in the public, and it's like, don't come in and spam. Don't ask for a more accurate reading. That's trolling, that's clickbaiting, that's botting, and my moderators help clean that community up and keep us positive here on the social media. So I appreciate you, and thank you to my team. Thank you to my Inspired Living Radio team. We have a great couple shows coming up next week, which is going to be March 6th and then March 27th, and then we're moving into April. We've got a few guests. So again, Inspired Living, wherever you get your favorite podcast, we're now streaming. I am getting ready to record new tips for positive living, and positive living is run through your Alexa app. So if you have an Echo or Alexa at home, you can just simply say, Alexa. Now mine's off camera right off here, but I've had to change her name to computer, because if every time I'd say Alexa, she would come on. And finally I was like, let's just change the name, which you can do on your Alexa or Echo Pods. And then you can just say, play Inspired Living podcast and or positive living, and you'll get tips that I'm going to be recording new tips hopefully this month. I've been so behind the 8 ball on everything, my newsletter, just dealing with legal matters, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of documentation, a lot of emailing, but hopefully I'll catch up here shortly for more bookings, my newsletter, and the new tips that I'm hopefully set to record here in the month of March through positive living. So just say, Alexa, open up positive living. You can also get the app at marclainhart.com, and there's tips that I share with you. So, okay, as always, again, thank you to my team. Good morning to Denise. Good morning to Shar. Good morning, Caroline. Good morning, Chrissy. Good morning, Tara. Good morning, Samantha. Good morning, Claudia. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Bernadette. Allison, hello to you. Thank you for sending stars. That helps me get more coffee each and every week. So the star senders, Thank you for the wisdom this morning. You're welcome. And again, thank you for the stars and buying me. It's pretty much just buying me a cup of coffee. So thank you. I appreciate you. Let's see. So any questions you want to ask, go ahead and start asking them. If I do miss your question, please don't take it personally. Sometimes the algorithms of Facebook um, don't come through on a timely manner, and I see them sometimes even after the show. But if I miss your question, you can always put star bump, and then ask your question again, because as we're going, we can get a lot of questions depending on the day. And just ask your question again. I'll do my best to answer it. And again, if you're a Diamonds Hub subscriber, the link is there now for you. And if you're a Patreon prospector, both links are here at marklainhart.com. Then at 11:30, so in about a half hour, I'm going to be doing a Q&A community. And then again at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, if you want to come in. Two different links for Zoom. So the only way you'll get to be able to access those is through the subscription platforms of Patreon or the Diamonds Hub. So, okay. So let me see here. Let's see here. Chrissy says, literally crying right now. Life quotes, wow, and I hope you have some support on your new journey. Well, thanks, Chrissy. And we'll hold space for you. And again, thanks for being a follower of the page. And hey, Tara, being a subscriber for you, Tara, as well. But crying right now, that means that the message is resonating, right? The message is hitting home. I do have a great support system that has helped me over, I've got the best wife in the world. We just celebrated 30 years on Monday of actually being together. We started dating 30 years ago. Our first movie that we went to was called Falling Down. So I can kind of give you a thought of where the movies were at that time. I've got a great cat named O'Malley. We call him O'Malley Moose because he's such a big cat, but such a lover. And it's been interesting because the last few weeks with my journey of health and journey of mind, he comes and lays on my chest. It's quite fascinating. And he'll put his purring in his heart, he'll lay on mine. And that's a cool thing about cats is they can align to your heart rhythm. Scientifically, that they've shown that in different studies. So cats, whether you like them or hate them, they have a very spiritual connection. I believe they're one of the only animals not mentioned in scripture. So they sometimes get a bad rap. They're tied to Egypt, which was, the Book of the Dead was from Egyptian standards, was written 1,000 years before the modern Bible. So cats can be pretty cool. And I know some people hate cats. Some people love dogs. Again, it's a buffet. It's just, for me, it's him coming and laying on my chest every single night. And I give him a kitty car wash, and I give him kitty affirmations, tell him how perfect he is and how pretty he is and how soft he is. And what that does is, by giving, that makes me feel better. But it's interesting how animals can attune to what's going on in your life, the pain. And I have a great support system I have good friends that I've been friends with for many, many years, since high school. I have my spiritual tribe on Wednesdays, the SDG, the Spiritual Development Group, that that keeps me going. We keep each other going, right? It's a tribe, it's a family. And I've got family and friends they're supportive and help me through this journey, which I'll need in the month ahead as I gear up for major surgery. I'm going to be kind of a Terminator, with the replacement of part of my spine. So, but it supposedly is going to get me back to life, much better than what this last year has been. Get me back to doing the things that I love, like basketball and golf, and just living without this constant pain, especially when you're here in Seattle. Holy smokes, when the rain is, the moisture is in the air, can feel it. And then when we had those cold days a few days ago, I could barely walk. But it also impacts your mind. So it's a exercise in mental strength, not just physical body strength. So, but Chrissy, hang in there one day at a time, my friend, and just ask yourself, what keeps you going? Why are you here? And if you're not sure, you're having those negative thoughts of what your ego voice is telling you versus what your higher self is telling you, then seek some assistance, seek some counseling, seek people out. Don't do this journey alone. It can be a very lonely journey, especially if you're going through an awakening. Like I said, think Neo unplugging from the Matrix, covered in just all the goo in a big tube out of his mouth, right? So, be patient with yourself, and it's okay to not be okay. Okay, so we're going to move into a meditation here in a second if I don't have any questions, but hang in there, my friend. Bernadette says, good morning to you, Wendy. Galindo, thanks for being a fan of the show. Good morning. I'm so happy I had time to listen to your message today. There's always something I can take away from listening. Thanks, Bernadette. I appreciate that. That's why I come on Fridays. It used to be Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. Last year had to change because my schedule changed, so we moved to my open day, which are Fridays. And I actually enjoy. I didn't want to, move for Mondays because I felt like Mondays help people set the tone for the week. but I'm enjoying Fridays more because maybe you've had just a long, shitty week and you're just drained and you needed some inspiration at the end of the week. So you can go into the weekend, rest, rejuvenate, revive, right? And then get ready for the hectic, Monday morning, chaos of whatever that is for your journey. It's been interesting because part of the shift in culture, part of the perspective of change is going to a 4-day work week. I know England did a huge, and it was more productive. They've some companies here in the States we're actually having conversations about 4-day work weeks, right? So that's interesting to me because things start with conversations, thoughts become words, words become actions. I always wonder if art is imitating life or is life imitating art based on our movies and based on, our culture. So it's very, very interesting on what's happening. But I like being here on Fridays. Again, Friday mornings, if I don't have to do a Zoom update and be 15, 20 minutes late, I do apologize for that. Then I love coming on Fridays now to help you. And then hopefully you have a couple of days of rest for those of you that don't have to work on the weekends. Good for you. If you have to work on the weekends, I'm sorry. Best I can do for you. And again, if you want to get on the subscriptions at 11:30, we'll have the Q&A community opened up for your questions if you're a subscriber. So yeah, Kara, hello. One of my subscribers says animals are the best. They really are. They're so intuitive and they see so much more. They hear so much more. There are times that my cat, I'm like, what are you looking at? What are you tuning into? What do you see that I don't, right? Animals are so very, and science is showing this from studies of compassion, having a soul, caring, loyalty, love, bringing, you see dogs in the military and the police force. Now you're seeing dogs and cats being brought into nursing homes for the elderly, culture that is very alone. We don't do a very good job in America of taking care of our elderly. We put them in nursing homes or care communities compared to other countries around the world. So animals are playing a big difference in that as well. So Wendy says, hi, Mark, thank you for existing. Oh, you make me cry. Thank you, my friend. You have helped me so much, and I have learned so much from you. Positive vibes your way. Thank you, Wendy. Bring tears to my eyes. Elena, hello to you. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning, cute Lou. Jessica, good morning, Jane. Again, good morning to my team for keeping the comments in the community positive and clean. Denise, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Yeah, Friday, Jess. I'm with you. Okay, so we're going to move. If there's no questions, we're going to move to a meditative state. I've got some music queued up. It's only 6 minutes. And then I got to get ready for Q&A community again for my subscribers. That will be over in the Diamonds Hub for Facebook. That link is in the comment section. If you want to be a subscriber, it's $4.99 a month, literally less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And then my Patreon prospectors, first Friday of every month for the rest of this year, I offer the Q&A community at 11:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. Both are Pacific Standard Times here in Seattle. Zoom room will open. You can come in, you can ask me anything you want. I'm an open book. I try to be as transparent as I can. And what we want to do now is we want to move into today's message of, what keeps you going? What keeps you in this crazy, chaotic, shitty world of ours at times? But there's a lot of beauty in the world too, right? Your focus determines your reality. Where are you looking? Where, when you look out and you're hearing Putin talk about nuclear war, it's like, well, shit, that sucks. Okay, let's not even have that conversation. So how can I shift my energy, my perspective? Well, you know what? I'm going to move into gratitude. I'm going to come do a show that's completely opposite of talking about nuclear war or killing in what's going on in Israel and Gaza, and just everywhere you look. Croatia, it's or Ukraine. Sorry, not Croatia. Ukraine. Croatia was a decade ago, and it's just like you're where you put your focus determines your reality, and also impacts your energy. So change your focus. If you're not liking what you're seeing, keep up with the world, of course. It's important to stay abreast of things that are going on, but don't marinate in that stuff, right? Because it just will impact you physically, emotionally, mentally, and it's just not fun. Just a sec here. So we're going to move into a meditative 6-minute just practice being a human being. Practice your breath. I'll go off camera. I've got a nice picture from Gandhi that I'm going to show. And I just want you to just take for the next, let's see. The opening song was called A Better Place by Peter McConnell. These are all royalty-free songs that have been approved through Meta. So I don't pay any royalties or trademark infringements. This one is called the Delphis Bursa Meditation. I'm not sure what that means, but I liked it. And it's by Dren McDonald. I like to give credit where credit's due for people that have done stuff. So go ahead and just take a nice deep breath. We're just going to move into the magic of the moment. We're going to take a deep breath. I'm not going to chat during this meditation. I'm just going to put a picture up because my microphone I found in past can be conflicting. And I'm just going to share my screen with you in just a second. So as you're taking your nice, deep, cleansing, healing breath, think about intention. What do you want to bring into your world? What keeps you going? And what do you want to release? And in the 6 minutes, that's exactly what you can do. Breathe in what you want, release what you don't. Breathe in what you need, release what doesn't serve your higher self, your peace, your purposes, your passions, any of that. And go with the flow. Okay. So let me cue the music up. Let me share my screen. Let me turn my video off. Share screen. And you should see on your screen, at least I see on mine, there is a force in the universe which, if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results. If you don't know who Mahatma Gandhi is, check him out. He was a very, very important person and a part of our history. And just enjoy this 6 minutes of what keeps you going. taking another nice deep breath, breathing in what you want. Releasing what you don't need. One more time, breathing in what you want. Breathing in health, peace, joy, healing, transformation. Releasing pain, doubt, self-sabotage, criticism, negativity, judgment, opinion.
That was easy.
So it is. All right. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for hanging out. And again, just practicing the pause, getting into the magic of the moment. I know there's a lot going on. And let's see here. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Laura. Good to see you. I hope you're both doing well. I know, Allison, you wanted a card. Allison, are you still on? I'll get you a card, my friend, since you were one of my star senders. If you could just throw some hearts up, a bunch of hearts or likes, please. You're welcome, Colleen. Thanks for being here as well. It's been heavy lately. Yeah, trust me. A lot going on. Let's see here. I wanted to give my star senders a card because she helps buy my coffee. Allison, are you still on, hun? Allison Clark. I've got a card for you if you are. I don't see any likes or hearts coming up. All right, well, I'll just still give it to you. Hopefully you're on and catch the replay. So the card I picked for you today is the Lily of the Valley. This is called, the cards themselves are called flower sentience because I love nature. But it says this teeny treasure of a flower is symbolic of forever love and the return of joy into life after perhaps a difficult time. So Allison, this is not just for you, but we'll give this to the group and the community that's here today for encouragement, for motivation, for, having that lily of the valley. It's, it says its bells ring out joyous tidings in the coming period ahead. Its bells ring out joyous tidings in the coming period ahead. It indicates feeling delicate with simple elegance, so it's often represented on gifts to a newborn child. But when the flower appears, it means that dreams are very important at this time. Take note and notice of any that you may remember. This is the lily of the valley. I'm going to keep this because there's good things coming, and there is. There's a lot going on, I know. Roaring 20s, as forecasted, as predicted, as podcasted, but this too shall pass, and we will have this great coming together of more transformation, positivity, community where people will say, we did that for enough years. We're not going to do that anymore. So hi, Sue. Good to see you. So we're going to move over to the Q&A community. Again, if you are a subscriber to the Diamonds Hub, you can get the link at marklainhart.com or the comments section. If one of the team members want to share that with anybody interested, to get that Zoom link here at 11:30. So in about 10 minutes, again, 5 minutes, I guess. I got to hurry up and get over there because I was 20 minutes late with the Zoom update. So I do apologize for that. Again, if you want to work with me in the future, you know where to find me, marklainhart.com, or just internet search the Intuitive Prospector. I hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your weekend. Happy March to you, March 1st. Spring is right around the corner, as we like to say. And let me just cue up a song here. And I just hope that you take the time to just appreciate being here in life. I appreciate you being here. And again, what keeps you going? That was the message for today, knowing that we're all in cages with that door wide open. All right, until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. And most importantly, wherever you're at in this world, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and discover that diamond within. And we'll see you next time here on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live here on the Intuitive Facebook page and YouTube. Take care, everybody. Namaste.
One planet, 7.3 billion people.
Only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide, are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream. Dare to explore. Dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.